Well, the state of the exhibition industry is a growing industry, and in terms of its size, in a given year, there's over 9,400 trade shows that take place. And it's a convening of the business-to-business communities that it serves. So in a given year, there are over, 1.35 million companies that choose to use the channel for their brand marketing, sales, marketing efforts, and it attracts 33.9 million business professionals as attendees. So in terms of the dimension of size, net square footage is the measure that we use, and there's 299 net square feet of paid space among all of those events that take place in a given year. That ultimately generates revenue for organizers, basically $10.3 billion in a given year. It's doing well, but before I talk about its relationship to gross domestic product, let me, in terms of further helping you understand the scope of our industry, its contribution to U.S. gross domestic product, when you take direct and indirect and induced impacts, it's an $80 billion industry here in the United States. So if you wanted to compare that to other sectors, we're bigger than the plastics and rubber industries that contribute $70.6 billion to GDP. We're a little less than amusement, gaming, and recreation. That contributes $84 billion. But I mean, those are pretty hefty sectors. So yeah, it's pretty big. If it's okay, if I could first mention that the CEIR index is the mechanism that tracks the performance of the exhibition industry. So again, we track number of attendees, number of exhibitors, organizer revenue, net square footage, and we track 14 industry sectors. So the composite, which is the combination of those four metrics, is the index. And since 2000, we plot the performance of that index against gross domestic product, and very consistently, our industry parallels in terms of performance with GDP. In this current year, we went down a little bit, well, still in positive territory, 1.2% growth compared to GDP, which was at 1.6. And 25 quarters prior to that, we sustained positive growth. So for the last quarter of 2016, we actually incurred negative 0.4, and there's a reason for that, because one sector in particular had some problems. Oil, the oil industry, given that the WTI for a barrel of oil plummeted to $28 per barrel. With it was a stop of production, well, rigs were set aside, exploration stopped and the like, and so attendance went down. That particular metric for the raw material sector where it's tracked went down over 11%. So without that occurrence, everything would have been more positive. So to the issue of sectors, which ones are the winners for 2016, it's food and construction. And so what's driving that is the strengthening of household incomes. There's more discretionary income. People go out to eat, seeing more attendance at food shows and the like. And on the construction side of the equation, it's been driven in the current year by residential construction. So that inventory of rental properties and homes is starting to tighten, and with it, stimulating construction. So then again, raw materials has kind of gotten hit. Education and government, that's tied to government spending, not doing as well. Okay, so benefits, and you mentioned 3 stakeholder groups. So let's talk about exhibitors and attendees. Those are the communities that the organizers serve. Without them, there is no event. So again, exhibitions are the gateway to commerce in the United States, where face-to-face marketing, that relationship sell, is a key element to selling products and services industries meet. And it maintains its resiliency for that very reason. So from the exhibitor side of the equation, Consistently, CEIR research shows that the top 3 important reasons for exhibiting is to generate leads, prospects, brand awareness efforts with very focused target audiences at that event, and relationship management. So having those one-on-one relationship meetings with current customers, because you want to upsell, resell, and the like, and face-to-face with prospects. And the beauty of the trade show or exhibition space is it's a temporary marketplace. And you're able to do or achieve a number of business objectives in a compressed time and cost-effective manner. And I would assert that in today's world where digital is such a big player in the marketing mix, the temporary marketplaces are poised to do quite well for that very reason, for the exhibitions that do it right and assure that that ROI is delivered. And in research that we've done repeatedly, I like to ask existentialist questions as the researcher, and we pose the question, are there, any unique aspects or values to exhibiting that aren't replaced by other channels? 97% of exhibitors identified one or more unique aspects, and it speaks to that ROI, that ability to meet with multiple customers and prospects, even meeting with suppliers. Those very large events, an exhibiting company can go out and buy in addition to selling its wares or its products or services on the show floor. So that's the ROI from the exhibitor perspective. So on the attendee side of the equation, again, business professionals, it's a big deal to spend companies' money, and it's harder to, convince your company to fund business travel. So to leave, and time is so precious, right? We all have to do so many things. As I said, 33.9 million attendees take the time to leave and go to these exhibitions to achieve multiple objectives. So consistently, and CEIR's done research in this regard since 2000, and it's uncovered that, and these are kind of long-standing motivations for going. They go to shop, and they go to learn. They go with 2 agendas, and it's an insatiable appetite to see and experience what is new and hot. So from a shopping perspective, show me those new products, new product technologies. Let me see demonstrations, let me interact with it, right? But that's also as well, let me speak to the product experts, the people behind the product. That's a very essential, unique element of face-to-face marketing. You get to, meet the people, shake hands, look at them eye to eye. Is this a company that I want to do business with or not? That's a key element of it. As well, on the learning side of the equation, in addition to attending any education that's made available, networking, speaking with industry experts, but they go to find out what are the hot trends. So that gives competitive advantage to their companies, but it also provides competitive advantage to the professionals in helping them in their own personal advancement in their roles in their companies. So that's done through peer-to-peer interactions as well. And there's, I've done research where I've had to pour over thousands of comments asking the question, what's unique about attending a show? And as I said, shaking hands, there's that instantaneous sense, right, of when, do you believe this person? Is this real? Maybe that's going to become even more today with the world of fake news, and is somebody really who they say they are? Well, that face-to-face setting, you can kind of cut through that noise. But there's a word called serendipity. And it's, you have a conversation, sharing experiences, it could be brainstorming, or you might be in a product demonstration and somebody else asks a question that you didn't even realize you should have asked, and it's a very powerful takeaway. So this is why exhibitions continue to endure because of that impact, and simply that, those are the ROIs from an attendee's perspective. The first challenge is always the health of the economy, because we rise or fall with the overall outlook for the U.S. economy, and as well as, the dynamics within a given sector. So that's always a concern or something to watch. And right now, the forecast for gross domestic product looks pretty positive. Not like an amazing uptick in growth, but in the forecast horizon, it'll be, 2.4 and then 2.8. We go 3 years out, 2017, 18, and 19, and so our industry is poised to grow with that. So that's one consideration. And as I say, a consideration as well is, or opportunity, we talked about digital. It's the challenge before the industry is how to integrate digital effectively into the experience. I have my mobile app, right? Attendees go onto that show floor with a phone and they use it. It has tremendous opportunities, but what we see to date is that for whatever reason, the use of mobile apps, 80% of organizers offer one, but less than half of attendees download it. There's some kind of disconnect. I don't understand whether it's the offerings. I just heard, I guess MasterCard's going to be doing some kind of new method of retail where there's going to be an interface, some kind of bot. Maybe it's the mechanism, maybe it's the offerings, but it's an opportunity to help attendees find the exhibitors they want to engage with, and specifically what an exhibitor offers, so that they can just spend more time with face-to-face engagement. So that's an opportunity. There's a lot of experimentation, but I don't see that anybody has the magic formula yet. As well, data analytics. Data continues to live in silos. Organizers and exhibitors we're still in the beginning stages of making sure data is in a format that can be used to have more dynamic offerings, again, and that can feed in to the attendee experience or how exhibitors can participate, but it's also uncovering business opportunities across different events an organizer might have. But we're still in the beginnings, and in reading things by McKinsey and Forrester Research, it gives me comfort to a certain extent to read that other industries are struggling with this too. And even that whole concept of omnichannel marketing, it's only 5 to 7% of the big brands are doing this, so it's early days for everybody. From the exhibitor perspective, again, it's that return on investment. So if companies exhibit for a variety of reasons. So the metrics need to tie back to the specific goals for exhibiting. But if we go back to the most popular ones, as it relates to sales lead generation, the number of leads, the quality of leads, and the like, and trade shows score well. One thing I hadn't pointed out earlier is that those three objectives are like the most important marketing and sales objectives that are out there. And 77% plus of surveyed exhibitors that identified that as a given goal say that exhibitions are highly effective in helping them achieve those goals. So, and with relationship management, it's very practical. It's how many face-to-face meetings, and the quality of face-to-face and like. Branding doesn't necessarily have as many metrics to it, but if you think about this, the most successful shows are said to bring an entire community under one roof. So think about it. You can spray and pray your promotions through a variety of mechanisms, whether it's online or print or through e-media publications or print and the like. But when you have that audience there and can have those face-to-face encounters in your booth, as well as any other activities, whether it's sponsored on the show floor or evening activities with your key targets. So the ROI, it's making sure you don't overinvest or underinvest to maximize the outcome.